Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about how to find the horizontal tangent to a curve. So let's start. First question is, what is a horizontal tangent and paano natin siya makukuha? A horizontal tangent line is a mathematical feature on a graph located where a function's derivative is equal to 0. Now recall that the derivative of f of x, or simply f prime of x, this is the slope, and the slope of the horizontal line must be equal to 0. So to find the horizontal tangent, the slope of the function must be equivalent to 0. Now let's have some illustration. Let's say we have a graph like this. Now sa graph na yan, meron tayong ilang points kung saan yung ating tangent is horizontal. For example, in this point, pangatlo, and pang-apat. In short, meron tayong apat na horizontal tangent. So meron tayong isa, meron tayo sa bandang ibaba, dalawa, meron tayo dito sa pangatlo, at meron tayo dito sa pang-apat na point. And also, yung ating horizontal tangent ay makikita natin dun sa ating maximum point or dun sa minimum point ng ating graph. Okay, so let's have some example. Determine the points at which the graph has a horizontal tangent line. So meron tayong tatlong example dito. Now, let's have the solution for number 1. Now, una, ang kailangan natin dito is kunin yung derivative and then equate to 0. Now, to find the derivative of f of x, gagamitin natin yung techniques on differentiation na topic natin last time. So we have f prime of x is equivalent to derivative of x cubed must be 2x squared. Next, the derivative of negative 6x squared must be negative 12x. And the derivative of constant is always 0. Therefore, ito na yung kanyang derivative. We have 3x squared minus 12x. Now, to find the horizontal tangent, we need to have f prime of x must be equal to 0, or the slope must be equivalent to 0. So we have 3x squared minus 12x is equal to 0. Now, yung goal na lang natin dito is to find the value of x or to solve for the value of x. Now, since ito ay quadratic, we know for sure meron tayong 2 possible values for x. So, paano natin gagawin yun? I-factor muna natin. Factor natin yung 3x, so magiging 3x multiplied by x minus 4. Next, kada factor, equate natin sa 0. So we have 3x equal to 0 and x minus 4 is equal to 0. So para lang tayo nagko-compute nito ng quadratic equation. Okay? Next, in the first part, x must be equal to 0 and the second, x must be equal to 4. Now, don't forget na yung kailangan natin is not the value of x kung saan siya magsi-0. Ang kailangan natin is yung points. So meaning, ang kailangan natin dito is coordinates. Pag sinabing coordinates, merong x, y. Ang tanong, meron tayong variable na x. Paano natin hahanapin yung y coordinate niya? So, simple lang. If x is equal to 0, hahanapin natin yung value ng y. So, ano ba yung value ng y natin? So, dun tayo sa original. So, tandaan mabuti, itong f of x is equivalent to y. Na hindi itong f prime of x. Tandaan na itong f prime of x is the slope of our function. Now, gagamitin natin is yung f of x is equivalent to x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15. Lahat ng x papalitan natin ng 0 at yung makukuha nating value, that's the y coordinate of 0. So we have f of 0 is equivalent to 0 cubed minus 6 times 0 squared plus 15. Now, lahat yan is magiging 0. 0 cubed minus 6 times 0 is also 0. So we have f of 0 is equivalent to 15. Now, yung 15, ito rin yung y coordinate ng ating point. So we have x, y, or simply 0, 15. And we're done. Meron na tayong isa. Ito yung point kung saan meron tayong horizontal tangent. Now, meron pang isa. If x is equal to 4, so palit ulit natin. Kailangan natin makuha yung f of 4. So we have f of 4 is equivalent to 4 cubed minus 6 times 4 squared plus 15. And we get f of 4 is equal to negative 17. So yung another point natin must be 4, negative 17. And we're done. Now, to double check our answer, gagamit tayo ng Desmos. Ginawa ko na siya kanina para yung checking natin ay hindi na ganun katagal. So yung una nating example must be this one. F of x equals to x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15. Ito yung kanyang graph. Next, yung nakuha natin na points kung saan siya nagkaroon ng horizontal tangent is 0, 15. Ito yun. Lagyan natin ng label para makita natin. Now, as you can see, at that point, magkakaroon tayo ng horizontal tangent for sure. Kasi yan yung peak. Yan yung maximum point. Now, since dalawa yung nakuha natin, i-check pa natin yung isa. So, we have 4, negative 17. Asa na yun? Lagyan natin ng label. So, we have 4, negative 17. So, ito yung maximum point. Ito naman yung minimum point. And at that point, meron tayong horizontal tangent line. Okay? So, meaning our answer is correct. Now, let's move on. Let's have the solution for example number 2. We have f of x is equivalent to 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x plus 4. Now, yung unang kailangan gawin is to find the derivative. So, we have f prime of x is equivalent to derivative ng 4x cubed is equal to 12x squared minus the derivative of 7x squared or simply 14x minus the derivative of 6x or simply and then plus the derivative ng constant. Again, derivative ng constant is always equal to 0. Now, since yung goal natin is mahanap yung horizontal tangent, kailangan yung slope natin must be equal to 0. So, we have f prime of x must be equal to 0. Therefore, 12x squared minus 14x minus 6 must be also equal to 0. Now, solve for the value of x lang to. Since lahat sila ay divisible by 2, i-divide muna natin. We have 6x squared minus 7x minus 3 is equal to 0. Next, i-factor natin. So, we have 3x plus 1 multiplied by 2x minus 3. Next, kada factor i-equate to 0 and then solve for the value of x. Now, yung unang factor, 3x plus 1 equal to 0, we get x is equal to negative 1/3. Sa pangalawa naman, 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, so we have x is equivalent to 3/2. Now, ito yung x-coordinate. Ang kailangan na lang natin is yung y-coordinate. So, paano gagawin yun? Ipapalit natin yung x dun sa ating original function. I-evaluate lang natin siya. Okay, so if x is equal to negative 1/3, so we have f of negative 1/3 is equal to 4 times negative 1/3 raised to 3 minus 7 multiplied by negative 1/3 squared minus 6 multiplied by negative 1/3 plus 4. Now, simplify, we have f of negative 1/3 is equivalent to 137 over 27. Therefore, yung ating point must be negative 1/3, 137 over 27. Next, para mahanap yung pangalawang point, let x be equal to 3/2. So, ipapalit natin dun sa ating original function. So, we have, if x is equal to 3/2, so we have f of 3/2 is equivalent to 4 times, yung x ay magiging 3/2 raised to 3, minus 7 times 3/2 raised to 2, minus 6 multiplied by 3/2, then plus 4. Now, simplify, we get f of 3/2 is equivalent to negative 29/4. Therefore, yung ating pangalawang point must be 3/2, negative 29/4, and we're done. Now, to double check our answer, punta ulit tayo kay Desmos. Okay, tanggalin muna natin yung ating solution para sa number 1. Ito yung ating number 2. Ito yung ating function. F of x is equivalent to 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 6x plus 4. Next, yung unang point na nakuha natin is equal to negative 1/3, 137, 27. And ito siya. Diyan natin ang label. Since ito yung isa sa mga peak ng ating graph, obviously, meron tayong horizontal tangent line sa point na yan. Next, yung pangalawang point natin must be 3/2, negative 29/4. So, nasaan naman siya? Nandito siya sa bandang ibaba. So, ito yung ating minimum point. Now, at that point, meron din tayong horizontal tangent line. And we're done. So, balik na tayo dun sa ating discussion. Now, let's have the solution for number 3. Ito ulit yung ating given. We have f of x is equivalent to 2/3 x cubed plus 5/2 x squared minus 3x plus 15. First thing to do is to find the derivative. So we have f prime of x is equivalent to derivative of 2/3 x cubed must be 2x squared plus the derivative of 5 over 2 x squared must be 5x minus the derivative of 3x must be 3, and the derivative of constant is always 0. Next, let f prime of x is equal to 0. It follows that 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is also equal to 0. Now, solve for the value of x na lang to. So, gamit tayo ng factoring. So, we have 2x minus 1 multiplied by x plus 3 is equal to 0. Next, equate each factor into 0, then solve for the value of x. So, we have 2x minus 1 equal to 0, or simply x is equivalent to 1/2. Next, x plus 3 equal to 0, therefore x is equal to negative 3. Now, ang goal natin is yung point o yung coordinates. So, if x is equivalent to 1/2, ano yung value ng y? So, we have f of 1/2 is equal to 2/3 multiplied by 1/2 cubed plus 5 over 2 multiplied by 1/2 squared minus 3 multiplied by 1/2 plus 15. Now, simplify, we get f of 1/2 is equivalent to 341 over 24. Therefore, yung ating point must be 1/2, 341 all over 24, and we're done. Now, yung second, if x is equal to negative 3, we have lahat ng x, papalitan natin ng 3. So, we have f of negative 3 is equal to 2/3 multiplied by negative 3 cubed plus 5 over 2 multiplied by negative 3 squared minus 3 times negative 3 plus 15. Simplify natin using our calculator, we get f of negative 3 is equivalent to 57 over 2. Now, yung pangalawang point natin must be negative 3, 57 over 2, and we're done. Now, check natin using Desmos. Tanggalin muna natin yung mga nakagraph. Okay, dun tayo sa pangatlo. Na-type ko na siya kanina para mas mabilis tayo. So, ito yung ating given. Nasaan yung ating peak? Ayan. Now, yung unang natin nakuhang point must be 1/2, 341 over 24. So, asan siya? This one. So, ito yung ating point. So, ito yung ating minimum point. Now, at this point, magkakaroon tayo ng horizontal tangent line. Now, yung isa must be 3, 57 over 2. So, ito yung maximum point natin. Lagyan natin ng check. And lagyan natin ng label. There you go. Therefore, our answer is correct. So, back na tayo. And we're done.